What you're looking at right now took a couple of weeks last summer, some sweat and a lot of gravel. In this video I'm going to walk you through how I turned a patch of grass into this outdoor dining area, complete with paving, a privacy screen, a pergola and a hand-picked plant design to look good for years to come. Welcome. Now we're talking groundwork, post setting, carpentry, paving and plants. Everything from the first string lines in the grass to the first moment we sat down here for dinner under the lights. Let's get into it. Every good project starts with a plan, and this was no different. The idea was to create a dedicated outdoor dining room, somewhere with a sense of enclosure and privacy, but still open to the garden. So we settled on a square footprint, large enough to comfortably seat 4 to 6 people. So I started by marking out the area using line strings and stakes. In the picture you can see green lines running across the lawn. So getting this square and level from the start is critical, and also in relation to the house and the porch, of course. Once the layout was confirmed, out came the spades. The entire area was dug down to remove the topsoil and to expose the sandy sub-base below. You want to go down enough to allow for your base material, your bedding layer, and then the pavings on top. Typically, well, I think I dug down 30 or something, at least, centimeters. And then the edges were cut clean and square. It was pretty hard work getting all this soil away from here, but I used it to build up my raised conifer bed, which I talk about in another video. So then the project really started to take shape. The 4 main posts were set into concrete footings dug at each corner, and getting those plumb, perfectly vertical and at exactly the right spacing is the most important part of the whole build. My wonderful neighbor, a professional builder and designer, he helped me to get everything exactly level using a laser and also a temporary diagonal bracing to hold everything in position while we let the concrete cure. You can see the bracing here. It looks a bit chaotic, but it's doing a critical job. Then once the concrete sets, those braces come off and you're left with a solid, rigid frame. Then the beamwork. The 2 main horizontal beams spanning between the posts, and then the roof rafters on top. We used a slightly cantilevered design where the rafters extend beyond the beams on each side. It gives the structure a cleaner, more architectural feel. And the moment the roof frame goes up is genuinely exciting. Suddenly you can read the space. You can feel what it's going to be like to sit inside. Now, while the concrete footings were curing, we got to work on the ground. A layer of compacted hardcore went down first, followed by a layer of sharp sand, leveled and screeded flat. This gives you a stable, well-drained base for the paving, and it was quite a lot of work to get it exactly right. You can see the gravel face here, and at this point the privacy screen is already up on the back wall, which was built as part of the pergola frame. More on that in a moment. Now the paving slabs, large format grey concrete tiles, arrived on pallets. This is a Swedish brand. The color is a cool blue-grey that looks good, both wet and dry. The color is quite different, but it looks good both ways. Laying in the slabs is one of those jobs where patience really pays off. Each slab is bedded onto the sand layer and tapped level with a rubber mallet and checked constantly against the long straight edge. The joints are kept tight and consistent. The large format of the slabs, 35 by 35 centimeters, means fewer joints and a cleaner look. The cool grey stone complements the natural wood of the pergola beautifully. You can see the finished surface here, alongside the wooden trellis and a terracotta pot with autumn chrysanthemums. That contrast of warm stone, fresh wood, and living plants is exactly the kind of aesthetic that we were going for. One feature I really like is the privacy screen. It's built from horizontal timber slats fixed between the pergola posts on the back wall. It creates a sense of enclosure without blocking light or feeling oppressive. The gaps between the slats let air flow through and give glimpses of the garden beyond. It also lets the scent from the plants in. And I've actually also made sure to match it with the neighbor's fence on the other side. On the sides of the structure we added ladder-style trellises. Those were my design, and I haven't really seen anything like it on other pergolas that I've seen. So they give a bit of a unique appearance, and they remind me of stuff that you see at sea, at buoys, probably marking out reefs or grounds, I think. And also kind of a sail shape to them, a bit unique. And they will be support structures for the climbing roses and other things that we've planted, of course. Once the sun goes down, the string lights come into their own. I have one image here that gives you a glimpse of how the space transforms at night, and I will be adding more lights. I will be putting up. This is just a solar-powered system, but I will actually put in high-voltage electrical circuits all the way through the garden. I will tell you more about that in another video. So I will have 2 lamps at 2 of these posts, among other things. And now to the part that I really am excited about, the plants. Those are what will really transform this place from just a nice wooden structure into something truly special. And the planting design was thought out with fragrance and long season interest in mind. So let me walk you through each of the plants. Now in these 2 corners we have planted 2 giant climbing roses. They're called honey roses in Swedish, but the Latin name is Rosa helenae. And we have 2 different kinds. The one is called a Hybrida, and it's one of the most impressive ramblers you can grow. It can reach 4 to 7 meters in height, which means it will eventually cover the entire pergola roof. In July, it produces enormous cascading clusters of small single white flowers with golden stamens. The sheer volume of blooms is almost unbelievable, and the scent is very strong and sweet and honey-like. After flowering, it produces small red-orange hips that birds love. This plant, the Hybrida, has been in cultivation since around 1910. And it was my wife who ordered me to plant this rose, because she had witnessed it firsthand at a colleague's house. And she was overwhelmed both by the size and the blooms and the scent, I remember. I'm a bit anxious about how large these will actually grow. My neighbor over there has one of these, and it's huge. It's a tree, and with trunks as thick as my arm. They cut the branches away, but they just come again and again. So it's a giant. It's a monster. So I will have to try to keep these contained. Now its companion here is another version of the Rosa helenae. It's called Lykkefund. That's a Danish name. It's a bit of a Scandinavian legend. It's developed in Denmark in the 1930s and beloved all across the Nordic countries ever since. The flowers are slightly creamier, semi-double and equally borne in huge clusters in July. The scent is similarly honey sweet. And one of its great selling points is that it's almost thorn-free, which makes it much more pleasant to work with than most vigorous ramblers. And both these roses will grow in sun to shade, but in this case they're facing southwest, so they will get a lot of sun. On this side, the south side, behind one of the privacy screens, we've planted 6 in total of peonies. 3 of each variety of 2 classical varieties. The first one is Sarah Bernhardt. It's one of the most famous peonies in cultivation. It's large, fully double blooms in soft pink, with a beautiful fragrance and strong stems that hold the flowers upright without staking. It flowers in June, reaches about 100 centimeters tall, or 3 feet. It's also an exceptional cut flower, and it has a strong scent. And one of the thoughts behind this is that even though you can't really see the flowers from inside the patio, from the other side of the privacy screen, you will definitely smell them. So that's the plan. And the other kind, 3 of those as well, is another classic, Duchesse de Nemours. Also a beautiful but completely different mood. It's pure white with a lily of the valley scent, which I really love. And it flowers from June to July. It's also around 1 meter tall, or 3 feet. And together these 2 varieties create a stunning early summer display of pink and white fragrant blooms around the base of the pergola. And both varieties arrive as bare root plants in autumn for spring flowering. So that's the first time I've actually planted bare root plants, and I know also with peonies they're a bit they're extra sensitive to the height. So hopefully I got it right. We will see this summer for the first time. Also on the south side of the pergola we put 2 viburnum. These are viburnum carlsii Diana, and they're also heavily scented. And they will start to bloom long before any of the peonies or the roses, so they will be first on scene. The Diana is a pretty compact, rounded, deciduous shrub. It grows to around 2 meters high and wide, and in April and May it's covered with round clusters of small tubular flowers that open from red buds to pale lilac pink and then fade to white. And the scent is extraordinary, strong, spiced and reminiscent of cinnamon. It also attracts a significant number of butterflies and pollinators. Then the dark green leaves turn an attractive reddish color in autumn before falling off. And red berries that ripen to black provide additional interest. It holds the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. And it needs a bit of pruning as well to maintain its shape. So I was thinking of pruning the viburnums into a bit of an arch around the peonies here. And then we have something of a novelty. First of all, you can hardly see them in the snow, but we have 2 openings into the patio. One from the west and one from the north. But they're just about 1 meter in width. The rest of the northern and western sides are beds. And in those beds we have put a total of 5 hydrangeas, but not just any hydrangeas. These are Hydrangea paniculata groundbreaker, and it's groundbreaker ruby, one of 3 of the first of its kinds. So they are especially low-growing panicle hydrangeas, and they are developed at a nursery called Living Creations in the Netherlands. They're quite different from the large hydrangeas you might be used to. They stay very compact, just 30 to 40 centimeters tall, spreading to about 60 centimeters. making them perfect as a low edging plant or ground cover, or almost like a little hedge. And the flowers open in July as upright white conical panicles and then gradually shift through pink to a deep ruby red. And the really nice thing is that the blooms, they are in different stages, so at the same time you will have both white, pink and red, different kinds of more and more dark ruby red. Really nice. And they hold that color right through September. That's about 100 days of bloom. That's the claim anyway. And well, we'll see it this summer. They actually started blooming already when I planted them last summer, but this will be their first real season. And we've planted them pretty tightly, so that to make a dense full coverage. And these can be pruned between November and April for the best flowering. So here we are, from a patch of grass to a outdoor dining area. Pergola built by hand, a floor that's level and solid, a privacy screen that works, and a planting plan that's going to get better and better every year, I hope, as the roses and peonies establish. And the climbing roses won't fully cover the structure for at least 2 or 3 years, but watching it grow is part of the joy. And in June and July, when the peonies are open and the viburnums are still flowering and the first ramblers bloom and breaking from the bud, this space is going to smell absolutely incredible. That's the plan anyway. Now, if you're thinking of building your own pergola, I hope this video has given you some inspiration. I have to say, the absolute most crucial thing is to get the posts plumb and the ground level. As I said, my neighbor, he helped me a lot. I started this project without him, but when he discovered that I was working on it, he came and offered his help, and I'm really grateful that he did, because I don't think I would have managed to get it half as nice without his help. And it really amazed me how much time he took to be sure that everything was perfectly level. So that's really the key. Thank you for watching, and as I said, I hope you found this interesting, and please come back, and also please leave a comment, like and subscribe and all that. See you.